arpeggios. Now, people very often get stuck right at the beginning. I would measure the number of notes in the trill and also the phase. However many you want, measure how many you're doing, but suddenly there's a change here. There's a crossing going from here to here, and suddenly it's a stronger rotation to get you to the second finger and back to the thumb. With a little out, it's like doing the C major. You have from a shorter finger to a longer finger. You want to come out without curling, without twisting. So it takes you a little bit out, brings you back in. And there's your arpeggio. Part scale, part arpeggio. Coming a little bit out to the 4, out to the 3, back in, out, in, out, in. Notice that my arm is following throughout and my body has to get out of the way and maybe a tiny bit back, so that the elbow and the forearm can come in and always be with the fingers supporting them. So the rotation, you will go over with your teachers. This comes out. What's so important is that crossing. And when you have the shaping, that crossing doesn't look so frightening and large, and it doesn't feel large at the end. This is one shape to the thumb, starting the next shape to the next thumb, 5 notes, high point on its way down. So what is complex in technique and in movements joining together is really feeling exactly how they do it and how not to lose the rotation when you're shaping, how not to lose the rotation when you're moving in and out. And you know, when they all work together, you suddenly feel this is natural playing. So once you have that feeling of a natural playing, you don't necessarily have to think all of those things. We always have something that we have to concentrate on. Whether it's a technique, it's the grouping, it's the beat, it's the expressivity, it's the tone production, is always something to concentrate on. But what you want is to put those movements in so they are a given. They become the new you, the new way that you play, and doesn't disappear. It's what I call skills for life. And the same thing here, as you're going up, it's the single and the double to the 4, and the single and the single. And then moving in and out, as you see, my hand never changes. Doesn't open up, doesn't curl, doesn't twist. I always say that if it were so simple, someone would have found it, because these problems exist for, I would say, for as long as people play. They've been problems. So again, it's an overshape. The one exception to shaping, overshaping, with the middle not being the high point, is in crossing. In a scale, in an arpeggio, the high point is the finger before the thumb to facilitate the crossing to the thumb. But as you see, the shaping is working with all the side movements and the in and out, and therefore you don't see much. But you see that even when I go very fast, that I'm moving out. People worry very often that it's too much movement, but it's interesting. If you don't do that, the fingers will curl, and when they curl, they tense, and when they tense, you can't go very fast. So you need this, and all of this can exist. This is how it exists in great speed. Now, the moment in measure 4, the moment upbeat, we have one black key. Things change. We move a little bit out to the 2. The 3 goes forward to accommodate, because we're going to a black key. Everything is very logical. You always go with the, I would say, the choreography of the passage. If you have to go in because there's a black key, you don't move out. So it's a forward. People often move very in. You just move close to the edge. The thumb tends, when the thumb crosses after a black key, thumbs tend to fall out. playing in back of it, but the feeling should be forward. In other words, we never play in a way that we fall out. When we move out, we don't slide out. The forearm brings us out, and we play down. So there is less in and out when we have a black key. That's all we need to do. Versus if it were all white keys, there's more in and out. Coming back, we move forward. And because there is sonic, these notes are close to each other. The moment in the training of it, the moment there is a larger distance, the brain should say slightly larger movement. Slightly larger movement, not to stretch. Thumbs tend to stretch. We come from the world of stretching. So the thumb for a long time likes to stay stretched. So when you come, for example, when you go to a scale, to an arpeggio, make sure that the thumb always releases immediately close to the second finger. Otherwise, it's pulling you away while the arm is trying to go up. The thumb is still pulling you down, so nothing feels quite right. So the release of fingers is very important. I would say this piece really deals with very much the basic technique. I just want to see what I wanted to. There's a lot to show in all of them, but just running around a little bit. If you look at measure 37, because that's the kind of passage that has situations like that. You're going from 2 to 5, but then to 4 over a large distance. There is one solution that can help a little bit, but even, again, if you're not afraid of crossing, you can go 2, 1, 2, 1. But when you go here, you can't go 2, 1, 2, 1, because it puts you immediately in the blacky area with the thumb, and it doesn't feel more comfortable. It's more labor. So a lot of this piece would have situations like this. And that's where the rotation is so quick to send us across. And of course, we group according to this. If we do it this way, this is a group. This is a group. This is a group. This is a group. We don't stop. But that's what we feel. It's not just a word or an expression. We actually feel that when we get to here, again, we group the notes that are close to each other. And again, notes that are close to each other. If you decide to do it this way, there's a little bit of a shape. And then here, we better learn how to cross, because that's the only way to do this passage. Crossing, just like in some of the passages, some of the measures, I would say, in Opus 10, number 1, when I was saying that people sometimes are scared to cross in the blacky area, you can't avoid it. So it has a single rotation. It cannot perfectly connect when you have something like that, but it's very close to it. We do the same motions to get us across, and there is a little bit of a shape, and we group in 4, and you have it. And then it's possible to play this passage. And the same in 39. I'm sorry. Here you can go to the 4th finger. I would highly recommend coming 5, 2, 1, 2, 1. It's right there. Very easy to do it. And the next measure also, you can go to the 4, or you can go to the 2, and then go to the 4. We really can't avoid the whole issue of crossing. You know, we really have to learn to do it first in scales, then in arpeggios. Then it's never an issue, because people feel they have to jump, they don't even play the thumb, and the result is that your forearm is falling off, you're tired. And then the piece is not so short, you start somewhere with tiredness, and then it accumulates and accumulates.